the entire football year.
Biggest thing that I think I was preaching to the team was everybody's already counting us out. Let's go do something special.
I got the mojo deal.
Tyreek Hill, touchdown, Kansas City!
Rodgers told us, I need to get hot for us to make a run down the stretch.
Got to be effective, productive, and aggressive.
Second time these two teams have faced off.
The San Francisco 49ers look like the real deal.
We know what we got in the building. If you said we weren't going to make it, you said we were some way early on, just stick with that position. Don't try to give us credit now. At least stick by your word, because I want you to sound like an idiot at the end.
Hey, glad your weekend is almost here. Or some of you may be already starting your weekend. I don't know. Things are very different these days. But from a traditional standpoint, the weekend is upon us almost. It's Friday, Golic and Wingo, presented by Progressive Insurance. Our phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. Mike Golic Jr., Trey Wingo here with you. Jason Fitz, maybe? I don't know.
It's his last day.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
One last time.
Come to the end of the road.
And after that, we will never hear from him again. And that's just sort of the way it goes.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. It's gonna be. It's
when
gonna
you
be
leave, we build the wall.
A lot fewer hugs in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm coming in early just to give hugs. I'll be in.
That's the problem. You can think what you want to do, but that doesn't mean we will allow it to happen.
Doors are locked.
I'm going to come in and do the worm all over that set, just every once in a while, intermittently, so you got the worm.
You're gonna.
I mean, it looks like a good worming area. I mean, I can plank, but
you've not once done the worm in here in however long you've worked.
Couple
here
years. In fact, I'm not really sure.
It looks like a good worming area. I gotta say, in the many things that I've heard over the years, that is one I have not
Didn't
heard
see
of.
we were going.
That's
didn't
a
see us
good
going
worming
there.
area.
You're welcome, America.
We know it works for massages.
Not crawlers. So we got a lot to get to. Listen, we're still dealing with the fallout of Major League Baseball and the sign stealing scandal that continues to unravel. We're going to have to talk to Mark Teixeira in just a few minutes about what he thinks about it and where he thinks this thing is going, because it is not over. And even though Major League Baseball issued that statement saying, yeah, we looked into the buzzers and the under the uniform things, and we didn't find anything credible, I don't think that's going to stop people from sleuthing.
I don't either, but I don't think they're going to investigate anymore. It's going to be real interesting on where they go, because I think they want to put this behind them.
They absolutely want to put it behind them, and they shouldn't, because we got 2 games coming up on Sunday that will determine who's playing in the Super Bowl, and we're talking about baseball.
Yep.
Listen, baseball's at the cool table right now. They should be loving this.
Baseball Twitter unseated everybody yesterday.
It's incredible.
It was wild to watch in real time. That being said, I think the chief reason for why things are not going to be done are the players in all of this, because there seems to be, and Trevor Bauer was really kind of the spearhead. We know Mike Fiers was at the center of a lot of this originally, but Trevor Bauer, I think, shedding even more light on the idea of, hey, people have been trying to communicate this for the last couple of years and go about it through Major League Baseball and through back channels. And finally, the frustration became too much. And so after Mike Fiers comes out, now that this discussion is happening in the public forum, we're seeing a lot more guys, a greater amount of Major League Baseball players comfortable coming forward and kind of venting their frustrations on, this is what we've been dealing with. It is very similar to what we've talked about. I'll be interested to talk to Tex, too, and ask him how he thinks this compares to the steroid use, because we heard from Alex Wood yesterday on Twitter saying, I'd rather face a batter on steroids than one who knew what pitches were coming. Right. And I'd be interested in general how they compare the levels of impropriety here.
By the way, our great researcher here just put this together in light of what we know went on for sure in 2017 with the Houston Astros. Jose Altuve splits in the 2017 postseason. 472 at home, 143 on the road.
Ooh. Home field advantage.
Offered without comment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just leave that one right there. But we do have Championship Sunday, for crying out loud. We have the Chiefs taking on the Titans in the AFC game first, and then we have the Niners hosting the Packers in the second game. And these matchups will decide who's playing in the Super Bowl in Miami. We're all super excited about it. And there's one quarterback who is going full Rodney Dangerfield on us, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. Everyone always talks about the Niners. Yeah, as long as Jimmy doesn't screw it up, they should win the game. Well, one of your favorite players, Mike McGlinchey, former Domer, right tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, is basically coming out in defense of his quarterback, saying he don't get no respect.
You hear the talk that Aaron Rodgers is superior to. We think it's bull.
And I think, not that Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, but we're very confident that number 10 is just as good as anybody out there. And he's proven that time and time again this year. Okay, we ran the ball 47 times against Minnesota. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with our team doing that? Why does it have to fall back on a negative to Jimmy that he didn't do it? And we know we did enough. We won the game by 17 points and dominated the entire game.
Okay, there's two things there, right? First of all, he's right. They executed a game plan that worked, and they had a 17-point win because they ran the ball. And all that is true. But Aaron Rodgers is better. I mean, come on, man. Mike, I love you. I think you're great. I understand what you're doing. Don't tell me that Jimmy Garoppolo is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, listen, we know what he's doing. We completely understand that. And as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, we get where he's going. Now, he hasn't looked like the Aaron Rodgers of old this year.
Correct.
And of the quarterbacks that are left, there's your guy's Hall of Famer, Patrick Mahomes.
He's everybody's Hall of Famer.
There's Aaron Rodgers, who's walking into the Hall of Fame. And there's a lot of talk of what Ryan Tannehill did.
Yeah.
We all realize Ryan Tannehill ended up as the highest-rated passer in the NFL this year.
Yep.
Ryan Tannehill had also the highest rating for play-action pass as well. So Ryan Tannehill gets talked about, and Jimmy Garoppolo is the fourth, right? Of these four quarterbacks, he gets talked about as fourth. And McGlinchey is doing exactly what McGlinchey should do and any teammate should do, is back their guy and say you have all the confidence in the world in him.
Do we think Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo?
I'm just saying by perception, the talk of Tannehill. Tannehill took over for Marcus Mariota. Tannehill's going to get a monster contract now because of what he did. Tannehill led the league in rating. Tannehill led the league in play action,
red zone percentage, all that kind of stuff.
So, yes, getting talked about this year. I guess that's my point.
I guess this year, but he's also had like a combined 200 yards in the postseason. Like I feel like I feel like there's been some calming effect to that whole conversation. Not to say that he won't probably get paid by the Titans, because I think he will this offseason, and I think they'll make the simplest solution there. But I feel like it is, all right, we have got two groups of quarterbacks in this Final Four. We have got the future Hall of Famers, and we've got the two other guys in this one. We have got Patrick Mahomes, and we've got Aaron Rodgers on one end of the spectrum, and we've got Jimmy Garoppolo and Ryan Tannehill on the other, who in neither situation are they the focal point when you're addressing that team right now. If you're talking about the Titans and stopping them, you are looking squarely at Derrick Henry in the face, and he is looking you directly in the eyes or down at you.
He's looking down on you.
He is gigantic.
Yeah.
And in the case of the 49ers, you're talking about Kyle Shanahan. You're talking about George Kittle. You're talking about that running game all before you get to Jimmy.
Exactly. And especially,
I think that's why we look at both of these teams as underdogs going into the weekend, because it's in some.
Do we look
San
at the
Francisco's
Niners?
not an
Sorry, not the Niners, but
Tennessee.
Tennessee,
sure.
But I think we look at those situations, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I give Green Bay more of a chance of pulling off the upset than I do Tennessee.
I do, except the fact that Tennessee
is getting it done.
They are.
I think Kansas City is a better team.
I totally
think Kansas City is going to win. I thought Baltimore was a better team last week and was going to win. Tennessee has just got it going on right now. But I do not think they can hang with the firepower that we just saw out of Kansas City. So I think I would give Green Bay a better chance. I don't think they will either, but a better chance of winning.
By the way, Derrick Henry, if he gets 150 rushing yards, and by the way, he's had at least 188 in his last 3 games. If he gets 150 yards, he'll join only one other running back to have at least 150 rushing yards in 4 straight games, albeit this is regular and postseason. And it would be perhaps the most historical comp ever for Derrick Henry. Earl Campbell, man. For those that don't remember Earl Campbell, oh, my God.
The greatest thing about Earl Campbell, if you ever watch tape, well, it was tape when he was
Yes, exactly right.
When he got tackled, he took so long to get up and walk back to the huddle. By the time he got back to the huddle, they actually huddled in those days, kids. By the time he got back into the huddle was breaking and going to the line, and they would tell him to play on the way
and he was good
to the
with
line. Oh, and they were good with it.
Yeah,
because he was just running people over. So that was, Earl Campbell.
Did he just try to huddle shame us?
Pretty much, yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
All right, Golic and Wingo is presented by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch and save pay an average of $796 less per year. Coming up, we'll go back to the burgeoning scandal. Burgeoning's such a great word. It just means things are blooming. The burgeoning scandal in baseball. How big is this? And is it as big as the thing that really shut down the home run era for a while? We'll get to that next. Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
NFL Prime Time. One more. That's a whoop. Catch this week's NFL Prime Time, available now, streaming exclusively on ESPN+.